Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I don't know if you guys knew, but I also fix cars. I have a customer car here. Well, not a car. It's a Ford Transit, kind of big. And the customer wants me to do his rear brakes on it. So that's what I'm doing here today. I just already took the tire off and everything. So I'm about to take off the caliper.
Hello.
I'm about to take off the caliper. He's not changing his rotors or anything like that. It would be kind of a hassle anyway. This is an inbound rotor. You gotta take off the pump to get to it, whatever. He's not changing anything. He just wants to change his pads. I just looked at his hardware here, the clips. They're not that bad, so I'm gonna leave those, and we're just gonna lube them up, and that'll be that. I gotta say, I've been spoiled by the lift. I'm usually working on a lift. Working on the ground is so much harder. Okay, get these off. Alright, so I got it off. I just took the caliper out. We're gonna have to press this back in when we put the new pads on, but here are the old pads. They're not that bad actually. As you can see, still got a lot of meat. This is metal, and this is actually the ceramic fiber material that actually applies pressure and stops your vehicle. This is the rear. Your fronts has the same thing, just like this. Most cars have a setup like this nowadays, and then some cars have like a drum assembly, where it's like a big drum on top of here, and that the brakes are inside of there. I did hear grinding on the other side, so we'll see that side, how it looks when we get over there. Again, these clips are not that bad. They're pretty good. So I'm just going to put some lubrication on there. Also with the slider pins, these things have to move freely. These slider pins here, they have to move freely. So I'm going to lubricate that as well, clean them off. And that'll be that. Alright, so the customer gave me his own grease. He said, let me use his own grease and this and that. I'm going to do what the customer asked me to do, so that's what I'm going to do. He said, let me put it on his slide, this grease on it, and that's fine. So you just do whatever the customer asks you to do, obviously. So I'll put his grease on his tire pins. I just wiped them off. I got to do the other one. So not a lot, you know, just enough, and then pop it back in there and make sure it moves nice and freely. It does. I'm going to go grab the other one. So, see, I always like wiping off the old grease. That's just something I like doing. You know, you don't have to, but I like to. And then go ahead and put a little bit on there. Pop that back on. Alright, make sure it moves freely. It does. Sweet. So now we're going to take the same grease. This is the only grease he gave me. I'll just apply a little bit on these clips here, a little bit there. You don't need a whole hell of a lot, really. Some on the opposite sides. I gotta get in there and see what the heck am I doing. Okay, and then some on the upper one. New pads here. See, brand new. Or the old ones. Yeah, these new pads. They are different, so you got to know which one is the outside and which one is the inside. As you can see, this is the inside, because this little notch right here is going to have to line up with the caliper notch right here. And you see, look, the outside one only has two little notches. It doesn't matter. See, so just to make sure, if you're doing a job like this on a Ford Transit 2019, you got to pay attention to that. So this will be the inside. As you see, 3 notches. Outside, 2 notches. So we're gonna go ahead and pop them in, and just like that. See, very easy. And then on the reverse side, I have a special tool here to wind these in. You just have a little notch like on both sides. You just put the right sizing on there, and then put the tool on it, and you basically just have to just wind it in. If it'll wind in. Alright, I finally got this in. It was a struggle. Oh my gosh, I particularly hate these type. I mean, like, there's other cars that have these type of calipers. Wait, so yeah, these are type of calipers that you got to screw in. I particularly don't like these. They're just harder to deal with, everything, the whole 9 yards. I don't like these screw types. There's many other cars that have them. I like the normal cone shaped ones where you just put a little pressure and they slide right in. I'm sure some of you may know about that type. But I finally got it in, so we can finally get it on. Oh my gosh, it was a big hassle. So I made sure, obviously, that notch lined up with the notch on the inside, and that'll be it. Just grab your caliper bolts and just thread them on there. Always do it by hand if you're going to be using an electric tool to tighten them in. I always start them by hand so you don't strip it out. That'll just be a whole nother issue. So let's see here. Okay. By the way, the fluid on the floor, I just opened up the bleeder just to get some pressure off, because it was just that difficult. So I tightened it back up. Grab your wrench, got your socket on there, just tighten it up. Right there. And the other side. Don't have to be super duper tight, just tight enough, you know, where you know it's not gonna be loose and off. So there we go, that's good. That's it, the new pad is on. We're all tightened up. Here, I'll double check this bleeder screw at the top here. I loosened it up a little bit, but it's good. As long as no fluid is flowing out of it. Put the boot back on it, like so. We're all set. There you go. It's all done. You got his new pads on there and whatnot. And that's that. Packed it up and off. Jack it up and off. Nope, I did it. Drop a little more. That's a little bit. Not a whole hell of a lot. Except I put it down a lot. Got the tire on there. I had to use some wood to prop this thing up, and then the wood got in the way. I don't know how it dropped so low. My driveway is not so even. So I'm trying to hurry and just get this thing on there. This one's got stuff. See, this one too, look. It doesn't go on nice and free. You gotta tap it on. I know been tapping as well. Now we can jack it up. Loosen it up.
Yeah.
I've been working on the railroad. Oh. One more is good. And put the jack stand underneath there. Safety. Just in case anything gives or whatever. Let's see. This one. Put it on right where the leaf spring is. Just in case. Never know what can happen. Alright. I'll just suck it down underneath here. That under there. This side caliper bolt gave me a little rough time to take off. It was stuck. It rounded off, and unfortunately, it was getting damaged a little bit more, as you can see. Look, this is how it's supposed to look. This is the bottom one. This is the top one. It was giving me kind of struggle. I was honestly gonna leave it, but I was finally able to catch it, and I got it. But I gotta let the customer know about this. So I just pulled the caliper off, and you can see the damage Look, it literally dug in, and it was just, the pad was just eating away at the actual metal of the rotor. So I gotta let the customer know they're gonna need some rotors. I don't know what they're gonna want to do, but, and they damaged their caliper pretty bad as well. As you can see, the boot is all torn. Look, this is no good, really no good at all. It's very badly damaged here. This is dangerous as well. So I'm gonna have to take this whole bracket off because I gotta clean it off properly. There's a lot of shaved metal everywhere. I called the customer, told him the situation, and he said, let me just go ahead and put the pads on for now. Hopefully I can get that back, and that thing is just so destroyed. Like, this boot right here is supposed to be around this little lip right here. I mean, like, look at where it is. I tore off like the dangly pieces because, you know, who cares? Doesn't even make no sense. And let's hope it doesn't leak. I told him that already. It might leak brake fluid.
Abby&Steven, are you okay? Abby&Steven. Wow, where are we going to Guyana right there?
Took it off. See, he was running this for quite some time. Very destroyed. All those little blue, you can see how it was blue. That got very, very, very hot. That's why it has that blue tint there. So this area got very hot. See how over here it's not bluish, it's still a metallic color, silver color. Over here got really hot. So he was running this for quite some time. I had to take the whole bracket off because there's no way I was getting this off this thing. I mean, like, it's, you know, the outer one wasn't that bad. This is the inner one. So that's, yeah, no good. I called the customer, I showed him, and I told him the situation. This thing actually shaved down so much that it wasn't even in these inside where it should be, inside the clips anymore. It was actually shoved in here, and it was down here like that. So that's why I had to take the whole bracket off to be able to get it off. And it shaved this rotor down a lot. Like, it's cut in so deep. You want to show them that? See how it's cut in real deep in here. That's very, very dangerous. I would have never driven this that long personally, but yeah, that's the situation. I greased this up, I put it back together as best as I could. This is still damaged. I took off the dangly parts that was just hanging. I got it back in there. I told the customer about it. He said, let me just put it back together, and he'll take care of it later. So I personally would have definitely try and take care of this, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna try and get this back on here. Let's see, we gotta back that out a little bit. Screw that back on. That. Got the other one right here. I put a little bit of grease on it. Never hurts. So go ahead. I really wish I had my power tools. Alright. Go ahead. Go on. I'll go ahead and tighten these up. If you don't work on cars regularly, I don't torque these, mainly because I've been working on cars long enough, and I kind of know what is tight and what is over tight. So, you know, people who don't really work on cars all that much, I would tell them to torque it down, both. But I don't normally do it because I've been working on cars so long, and I kind of just go with a feel, and I'll know when it's tight. So now, like, look, it's like pretty tight right there, so I'll just give it a nudge. And same thing here, it's tight, see, I'm putting pressure, I'll just give it another nudge right there. And that is, you know, that's on there. It's not gonna back out. So that's that. Time to put the caliper on. Alright, everyone, I put it back together. I'm about to put the tire on. I did the best I could. So that's it for this video. I really hope you liked it. Let me know if you want to see any more car stuff at all. I didn't get too in depth with this, like as far as socket sizes and stuff like that. I kind of just wanted to show you what I was doing. I really hope you like this video, so don't forget to share, subscribe, and tune in on the next one.
I thought you finished video. Go down, Steven. Wheel.